Smile is a 2022 psychological horror thriller, written and directed by Parker Finn and his feature-length film debut. It stars Sosie Bacon, Jessie Usher, and Kyle Gallner. The plot follows a therapist who appears to be losing her mind after witnessing a bizarre, traumatic event involving a patient.
I'm seeing something no one else can see except for me. It's smiling at me. Oh my God!
So first off, I gotta say, I was very surprised by this movie. From the trailer, I was all about it. I thought it would be a campy, fun, silly, kind of shitty horror movie. But it was much more than that. This isn't just a silly, campy horror movie. There's a lot more to it here than that. It actually has some pretty interesting things to say about mental illness. It's also much more of a slow burn than I was expecting. But it is still a fun horror movie, but just not quite to the level of what I was expecting. So for me, I was pleasantly surprised, but I could see people that were going in here thinking this is just going to be a popcorn kind of horror movie and being maybe a little bored, or at least not as exciting as they thought it would be. There is some really legitimate scares in this movie though. It does get you from time to time in some pretty fun ways. It does have some pretty legit jump scares, but it also finds other ways to scare you as well. One of the things I was extremely impressed with though was the way this movie looked. It is gorgeously shot with lots of interesting camera angles and just the stylization of the way they're shooting this. It's very different than what I was expecting. You can tell there's more thought put into the way they wanted this movie to look than what you see most of the time. It also has a pretty washed out look to it, and I could see that they were going for kind of a disturbed mind feel. Everything about the way this is put together though is very meticulously done. You can really see that they were going for that mentally disturbed kind of mind melting down kind of environment. The cast does a good job, but it really is the Sosie Bacon show. She is amazing in this. Just so much emotion and passion and just so many things she conveys with just her expressions on her face alone. This is a really, really good performance from her. I had not seen her in anything prior to this, and I was very, very impressed with what she's able to accomplish in this movie. I love how this movie takes you on a journey for her to try to find answers. It reminded me a lot of the movie The Ring. Just the way it unfolds and you have her figuring out these clues and you're kind of there with her trying to figure out what's the answer, what's gonna happen. This movie goes way more intense and way more dramatic than I had any expectations of. It does have fun and it does have spooks, but it is a very, very tense movie. A movie that really kind of has you on the edge of your seat more so than it does having you freaked out. It does a really good job of building atmosphere and just that creepy overall vibe and just leaving you kind of on the edge of your seat, just hanging there, not sure what's gonna happen next. And it'll let you sit there for a minute from time to time before anything happens. It's really a lot of fun in that way as well. There's not a ton of special effects in this movie. For the most part, it's practically done. And I really liked that they were able to stick with practical effects. It isn't until the end where you'll know when you see it, but they definitely have some CGI, and I'm not a huge fan of it. I know that they did try to do even that practically, at least as much as they could. And I really appreciate that they do that. But it does get a little bit CGI heavy, and I thought it kind of took you out, especially because of so much of the rest of this movie is very, very grounded in real world practical effects. Besides that, my only other real issue is also just the ending. I really enjoyed this movie. I was so surprised by how much I enjoyed this. As this movie's going, I'm thinking, man, is this gonna be another movie that's in my top 10 for the year? Like, it's been back to back to back, just fantastic horror movies. And if it had landed the ending just a little bit better, I think it would have been in my top 10. But it's just, the way it ends, it's just, there's a few things that I don't want to talk about because I don't want to spoil this, but there is a few things that I wasn't a huge fan of, just the overall way that it ended. I wish it had been just a little bit better. But overall, this is another really fun horror movie that I think you could have a good time with. So definitely get out there into theaters and check it out.
I'm just really scared that something bad is going to happen.
Real quick, I want to give a huge thank you to all my patrons because you guys matter so much to me. Thank you so much. And if you would like to find out more about becoming a patron, the link is down in the description. And like always, thank you so much for watching. Please crush that like button. And remember, guys, horror can be fun. I will see you guys next time.